Welcome back, spectators. We're going to be tackling that job down in the basement. So let's head down there and take a peek. That's very interesting, dear. Okay, so what you can see here is the beast that I showed you before. And really what I want is to have basically 5 separate machines. Like, for instance, this is a sign machine that you just need to supply it with the wood planks. Like, I don't have any wood planks in here right now. It's also not hooked up to an automatic draw. So like if I take any of these, the automatic draw, I'm using a weird word for it. They're the retrievers. This is the retriever over here. This is what we use to make the retrievers. The only thing missing from it is a filter. But something that's really scarce right now is gold. There's 3 gold. Let's see if anyone's found any gold in the last. Nope. See, still just not very much gold. So we're gonna be expanding out, getting that kind of thing. But basically, I've got a sign machine here. It's really basic. I can use the sign. I just come in here, get a sign anytime I need to. I don't actually have to make the signs. I don't have to have a box full of signs because they don't stack in this version of Tekkit. The newest releases of Minecraft, they do stack, but in this version of Tekkit, they don't stack. So that's something you don't really think about. So I've got a box that makes signs out of stackable objects. So I could have literally 128 signs in here with just a few slots taken up. The other reason that you end up having one of these little crafting tables, which is what I'm making over here, these crafting tables are handy, is because they hold a template. Now this is the difference between this template and say one of these other filters or some of these other machines or something. There's no charge for putting the template in place. So for instance, this Ender Pearl, which you can see has an exchange rate of 1000 EMC, is expensive and they're hard to get, and you've got to go through a lot of guys to get them. So and even if you were to try and make them out of the exchange, you'd need to sacrifice a lot of other materials. So putting one in here, just like putting a diamond in here, is kind of like throwing away some of that money. But the thing about it is, there's not actually anything there. If I take an emerald, this pearl, and right click on it, I still have 10. I had 10 to start with. See, there's 10. Pick it up, right click. I still have 10. So this is a template, like a real template, like you might imagine, a blueprint. It's just pictures of the items, not the actual items. Then you put the actual items up here. So it's really cool to have these crafting tables sitting around with complex items. Like this is, I always forgot. Did the iron go on the top, and was it gold or was it brass? I remember it being yellow. Was the leather on top, or was the blue alloy on top? And was it a filter in the middle, or was it a piston? I can never remember because there's so many other things going on. So it's really cool to be able to have one of these crafting tables where you have the items ready to be used. So this is the most simple version of using a machine to help simplify your builds. Okay? Now, if you just want something super direct, like this is one job that this does, and it's a piston maker, and you know that pistons are super inexpensive. They take 3 wood, which you can get from even just 1 log, 4 cobblestone, which means you don't even have to cook it, an iron ingot, which means you do have to cook it, but there's no other way to use iron, and redstone, which means you have to have at least dug down a good distance before you found some redstone. But still super inexpensive to make a piston, right? So it's a really basic thing. But look, this is the smallest that this machine can get. If you're going to have it direct pull from your inventory, if you're going to have the retriever pull directly from your inventory, this is as small as it gets. If you put this machine right onto this box, dude, puppy, you're gonna have to move. Like, come over here. because you're bumping into me. You're driving me nuts. What are you doing back there? Is that even my dog? It's probably not even my dog. Can I right click? Let me right click on him, because if he's not, I'm just gonna seal him in somewhere. All right. Anyway, sorry. You don't even need the, like this machine, this part of the machine. This is could be done, and you could have a switch, a button you just keep hitting, if you wanted to. But so this doesn't necessarily even have to be part of your build. But anyways, this is a 9, 12. So 12 blocks. So a this one on top doesn't really count. That's going to another machine. So a 4 by 2 by 3 block area for a very small, simple machine. The reason you have to have a filter here, and you have to have the retriever in order to make this thing draw from here, is you cannot send items to a specific place unless you use the paint and one of these machines, this sorter, which is expensive and only takes 5 slots for ingredients. So if you're building one of these things, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 items. So you wouldn't be able to build that. So you have to have a retriever which pulls in, according to a pattern, exactly what you need. Then it goes into the filter, which makes sure that only what you're asking for is coming through, and only when you're asking for it. And then it goes into here and gets organized and is ready to make your piston. The reason that matters is because if you've got a machine, actually here, this perfect example is this. This machine requires cobblestone, gold, and this red dope wafer, and of course a piston. But this requires cobblestone, and that's about it for the two that they share. But this requires 5 cobblestone, and this requires 4 cobblestone. Because this requires less cobblestone than this box will never fill up enough to make this thing able to get its allotted amount of for what it needs. The way that these tubes work is they always go to the first available slot unless they're otherwise instructed. So if you send something down here, or even if you have the retriever by itself holler out to one of these tubes, hey, get me some cobblestone. Cobblestone will make its way around, comes around down to here. It'll cut and turn left through here. These bands are on here to tell it, don't go through unless that's the only possible way. Then it would go here. Now, if this machine was calling for the cobblestone, and this machine here was turned off, even if it's turned off, the retriever will accept the stone, so the stone goes in. The cobblestone will go into this box, and it won't go anywhere on the other end. You'll just end up with this stacked up cache of cobblestone in this machine, and this one will never get its delivery. So if you have a filter which won't take anything through it unless it's being asked to by a redstone signal, then you will get a negative supply signal. It won't be able to go into this box, so this thing puts in a little buffer to say, hey, I'm not ready for any materials yet, so please don't send them to me. And then the items will go where you want to. So now this is what it would do. That's where you see it's going in there. Now if I were to send a signal to this one, because they both have filters on, okay, now they're both pumping away. Now watch this. There goes one. There goes the next one. And here comes some wood for the piston machine. Alright, here it comes. There's the gold now going on its way. And the redstone. And the uh-oh, see, look. The items have been requested for the filter, but since the filter and the piston are both activated in order to be made right now, only the redstone, the cobblestone is only willing to go to the first available slot. And because the filter is activated, it's an available slot. So now I'm going to turn this off. That's still going. Okay. Now watch. That stuff's going to dump back into the feed. But now look, boom. Now it's going. You saw how no cobblestone was going through. It was not pulling any cobblestone through, even though both of them were requesting it and the filters were active. They were both seen as legitimate items. That's why I had to have them turned off, be able to be turned off and run in sequence. So just so you know, those feedback, the ones that fed back, the ones that didn't have, that were in the middle of transfer and then the item was rejected when I turned it off. Those items, let me turn this off here. Those items come back through here and then drop down this tube because there's a resistor here, and then underneath here there's a resistor under there. They feed back through under the floor, they make their way all the way through the floor, all the way to this box where you see them coming into the ground there, and then this box sends them back through the sorter, and then they go wherever they were supposed to go, whatever they were. It doesn't matter what they were. They go back into the sorting system just as if they were, you know, put in the box all by themselves the very first time. So this is what our machines are going to look like. All of our machines that make the different things are going to look like this. Piston machine, the filter machine. Up there we have a box machine. What else we got up here? We've got a box machine and well, a chest machine and a regular crafting table machine. All of those things are going to have their own little spots, just like these two do. And then I'm going to be able to make a smaller, a little more compact version of the crafting table Mother of God machine without disturbing, without wasting the usability of those other boxes. Basically, they'll become inventory items like this. I might even have these make their items and send them back into the inventory, into their own boxes. So we'll see how that works out. But for now, that is the overview of what we're going to be doing, and basically understanding why we're going to be breaking these down and what it means to be breaking these down and how small we can go, which isn't too overly large, but it's still probably not as small as it's never going to be as small as this. All right, so if you've enjoyed this, let me know. I want to know what you like and what you need to know. So I enjoy hearing from you every once in a while. Use the subscribe button, the like button, or even leave a comment for me, letting me know what you'd like to see or hear. And on behalf of everyone here at Tekkit Games, we want to wish you all happy gaming and have a super day.